Hey, welcome back to the Blue Collar Off-Road Podcast, episode 24. I'm Graham. I'm here with Luke, Cody. Richie's not here, but we do have, discount OJ, Bronco guy in today. We've never actually interviewed anybody or had anybody on the podcast who doesn't have a Cherokee, so this will be a unique one for sure.
Does he get credit for it kind of looking like a Cherokee? It's still square.
Yeah, it's square.
Has the aerodynamics of a Lego. I mean, it's similar.
It does kind of look like a Lego.
But we'll follow the same routine with all the new people we bring in. How'd you get into wheeling? How'd you get to the current rig that you're at now? And why the hell would you join our Cherokee club as a Bronco owner? And we got Ryan. Ryan's his name here, not OJ. So I think Ryan will start you off as, how did you get into wheeling initially?
Well, the major difference between Ryan and OJ is Ryan's wife is still alive. So, that's a good part too.
Jeez. Yeah. So, I started wheeling when I always was into trucks and off-road, and I don't really mess with any cars or pavements. Pavement's boring. I knew I wanted a truck or an SUV for first vehicle, got my permit. And I was like 3 weeks into my learner's permit, and I had like my 70-year-old grandmother with me. And I was like, I want to go down that trail. And she's like, oh, okay, well, it's your vehicle. Just don't get us stuck. So I was like, oh, all right. So we're bombing down this trail, and it was good. And I just kind of decided I wanted more. And after I got my license, and I ended up eating a transmission in that truck just from overheating, I think. And I was like 17 at the time, and I just kind of realized I need a trail rig and I need a daily driver. I need something that can sit and it can break down, and who cares? I still got to get to work and I got to get to school. So I ended up buying a Cherokee. And
as the wheeler?
Yeah, that was going to be my trail rig, and it was just problem after problem. So I ended up selling it to a buddy for parts, and he pretty much cannibalized that thing, gave me literally every penny that I put into it. So other than my time, I didn't lose anything, but I was back at square one. I didn't have any loyalty towards any brands. I just, everyone runs Jeeps, so I figured buy a Jeep product.
Well, I mean, Cherokees are kind of like the fat chick in high school. You gotta try at least one.
I did, and it wasn't good.
So we're kind of cheating. You were a Cherokee guy, for a little bit, for a small period of time. I also love that grandma got you into wheeling. That's pretty cool. I wish my grandma got me into wheeling.
Ironically enough, my grandfather played a part in me getting into wheeling too, because I used to hunt with him, and we'd always have to go down the hunting trails in his Trailblazer, not Trailblazer, old Blazer. So that was cool.
Yeah, I don't know how I got into wheeling. We don't have trails. It's because I went to school in Maine for a couple of years. That's why. Otherwise, I wouldn't even know what dirt roads are.
I assume everything out your way is just kind of paved.
Yeah, there's really nothing.
The one thing that I love about Bronco, oh my God, fuck me. Ryan's little story there was he said pavement's boring. I totally get that. I was into cars for the longest time, and I was like, oh, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. And I'm thinking about, that's either going to A, make my car unreliable, or B, going to make it so I just get in trouble. That's all it was going to do for me. So that's what made me transition, which was kind of cool that he said that. I had the exact same thought where pavement's boring. Let me go off road, have some fun, and do it legally. So it's pretty cool. So after the Cherokee, what was the next trail rig?
It was the Bronco. Yeah, I know. So I bought it off a buddy of mine in my class, and I saw it, and I was like, oh man, if you ever want to sell it, that thing's cool. And he's like, yeah, I'd sell it. And I said, "Oh, all right. Well, how much?" And he's like,
Yeah.
"I don't know, give me $500." And I said, "Yes, okay." So I gave him $500, and I drove that thing home. A little bit of sheet metal on the floor, passed inspection, and
Yeah, how is the body on that? I mean, I know at this point it looks clean from 10 feet away. I don't know what the status of it internally is. If the frame is
the body's smoked. Like,
yeah,
there's nothing left. It originally started life in like like Graham said, 10 feet away or 20, whatever.
one of those
at night in the rain.
With fog.
Yeah, I think I'm like the 5th or 6th owner on the thing, and it started life in Minnesota. So like this is as south as it's ever been.
And it's gonna die here probably. Maybe my guess.
335,000 miles on it.
Holy shit.
And I'm sorry, but I don't think it's gonna die given how long have you had it?
About 17 years.
Yeah, legends never die. There's no way that thing is going out. And if it does, it's going out fucking swinging, I'm sure. Because
I'm sure it'll get to some point of just having a front clip or something.
Yeah, where it's barely a Bronco and it's more.
Do you think you'll still have leaf springs then, though? Do you think you'll maybe take the plunge into something cooler?
It's going to have coils at some point. I don't think it's going to be this year. I don't think it's going to be next year. Honestly, I bet you maybe 5 years from now, that'll be something that'll happen.
Hey, you could donate to our OnlyFans to help get this man a set of air shocks.
We should just find some discount air shocks for him. They're super easy to install, Ryan.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily the suspension setup. I think it's the lack of control arms. I don't want to do that.
True. Well, I mean,
I think that's Ryan's thought process on that.
You could try and set up air shocks without control arms.
With the leaf springs. Oh yeah, just run one main leaf to keep it centered, and with the air shocks to support. That's a foolproof idea.
Now we're thinking.
You don't even need sway bars. You could still run it down the road. That's fucking mint. We're doing it.
Honestly, I'll probably just get annoyed to the point where I sell everything and or just invite Luke to come over and be like, "Hey, man, just figure this crap out," because I don't understand geometry. I'm not getting involved in that.
You don't need to. That's the thing is everybody's like, you gotta know the geometry. As long as your links are 8 feet long and behind the rear tires, like some people we know who make lift kits and stuff, you're fine. Just like reasonable link sizes and is the upper supposed to be longer or shorter, Luke? I forget.
Longer.
It does not matter.
Okay, so it literally doesn't matter. You can just build whatever you want. Just make it a triangle.
It
does for caster, but yeah, that's fine.
It does for caster, but I'm saying if
you can measure that with a
lengths
indicator.
Reasonable, it won't matter that much. If you keep it
it's trail rig.
Yeah.
So
I
whatever.
mean, and you can still, the separation's going to determine the performance. The upper link length is going to determine the caster. So if you just do the math out, you can figure that out with relative ease.
So here we go. We got to do some like 3 foot links. Maybe do like a 3 and a couple inches on the top. Do you want longer or shorter? What do you have, Luke? I think I've got
longer on
mine's
both.
Longer as well, I think.
I got long boys too.
Separate them like 7 inches at the axle or something, and then
more at the axle.
4 or 5 at the body.
7-ish at the body.
That's not what I have, and mine does okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, just package
it only hops every time.
There you go. There's your recipe. Go and make a control arm setup.
I got some.
Maybe.
So, I suppose that we're probably jumping the shark here. What happened when you bought the Bronco?
Is that a term?
Jumping the shark?
That's a term.
I don't know if I've heard
that. No, that's like a terrible piece of my childhood. My dad always used to say that to me. It was from some TV show where at the end of it was a corny movie or something, and they literally jumped a car over a shark. It was, and it became like a saying in the fucking, I think it was 90s or whatever, and my dad just fucking
See, that
hammered
sounds
that
like
into
me. Sounds like me and my father saying of pink boots.
Yep,
Do you know? Do you know what pink boots means?
I do not.
I've heard it.
Nope.
So when I was younger, me and my dad went to a super or motocross race up in Southwick, and my dad goes, "Yo, like, hey, dude, check out the girl with the big boobs." And I go, "Pink boots?" And he goes, "No, big boobs." So like, it was like our little code saying of like, "Yo, check out the chick with the big boobs." Like, "Oh, pink boots, cool." Like, anyways, go ahead, Luke. Sorry, we were jumping sharks and looking at
Yeah.
pink boots. What?
Big boobs, okay.
No, pink boots.
So, like, I think that the Broncos come with a 7.5 and Dana 30.
No, 28. 6? Shit. Fuck.
Yeah, so 7.5 rear and 28 front,
20.
and the 28 is IFS.
So like real toothpicks.
Oh,
That's
baby.
probably an
Like
understatement. Yeah.
You think Cherokees have toothpicks? No. Apparently Broncos have toothpicks.
So,
Yeah, those shafts are like probably the size of your index finger.
Oh,
Wow.
well, mine's cut off,
Really?
so like that's not good.
so with that setup, the 7.5's got to be like almost equivalent to a Dana 35, because if I remember right, the Dana 35's 27 spline and a 7.5-inch ring gear. So basically the same garbage. Where'd you
Pretty
go
much.
from there?
I honestly don't even remember what the spline count was on the 7.5. It was just
It's
it
probably
drove
not
down the
worth
street.
going.
No one's going to be putting them in intentionally. But no, I ended up I crashed my daily driver, so I had a 91 Ford Explorer, and I ended up taking the Dana 35 IFS front and threw it in the Bronco, and I took the 8.8 rear, and it ended up having 31 spline axles in it, so the 8.8 was really perfect. If it could have held up to the tires on there now, then I probably would have kept the 8.8.
Might have been able to.
According
Not
to
well,
the
but-
internet, the 8.8 is superior and can hold up to 40s, so or 37s technically is what people say it can hold up to, but I don't know.
I think the 8.8's probably good if you were to go and put the super kit in there and like spend a decent chunk of change, maybe for 40s with like a 4-cylinder or a small V6.
Small V6.
I'm sure. But I mean, it doesn't get any smaller than that V6.
So that's
So
pretty
what's
cool
in
though.
it?
So
It's a little Ford 2.8 liter, little V6. It's tiny.
that's cool. I'm just like,
I mean,
like really.
you say that, but I mean,
No,
if you tried driving it
no.
down the street,
No,
Do
no,
they
no,
come
no.
with-
The motor is poop. Don't give me. I wasn't talking about that. That's we already knew that. I was saying that the Ford Explorer setup fit in reasonably like well too, right? Like it really wasn't that bad.
no, not at all. That was like my first like actual swap. But I just kind of measured everything, and it was like unbolt everything and then bolt all the stuff back in. The Bronco
That's cool.
2 ended its era, and Ford discontinued that for the Ford Explorer and the Ford Ranger. So like those three vehicles are all the same vehicle.
Huh.
So it's as
That's-
small as a Ford Ranger? One of those like the newer body styles? Or what year was it? Sorry, I'm sure you already said this.
Maybe, I don't know. So it's an 85, but the 85 Bronco 2, the 91 Ford Explorer, and like an 80s Ranger, they're all basically the same vehicle. They kept like the front half of the frame very similar. So really all those parts are kind of interchangeable.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, I've never really worked on Fords ever, so this is all a learning experience for me.
So,
Yeah, I mean,
how's the
I don't think you're missing much.
Like, would one of the early 5.0s drop in?
People have done 5.0s. They've done the 351s. I've seen a 460 in a Bronco too. You can pack anything anywhere.
That's sick. But imagine running a motor that big in a crawler. That'd be terrifying.
That'd be cool, but a little excessive, I'd say.
So you might as well 7-3 swap at that point, you know? You're gonna go big, you might as well go dumb, you know?
You're already having the weight, so.
When I was back in high school, a buddy of my dad swapped a 7.3 IDI turbo into a big Bronco. That was entertaining. Sorry, Cody.
I mean, if it's full size, it's kind of the same as like the F Series truck that it came out of, right?
Huh.
Yeah.
That is true, actually. I mean, just wheelbase, I guess, would be the scary thing at that point, right? You'd it would definitely want to do donuts pretty easily, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
So after the IFS, if that's what you want to call it, what was the next move? Because I'm guessing you were sick and tired of that setup too.
Yeah. It didn't wheel nice. I'm at a loss for words again, but I don't remember what it's called. But basically, the coil springs on the IFS did weird things. Anytime the truck flexed, you didn't have one side pushing back down, so it would kind of spring you off anytime one tire got light.
Yeah, I guess
horrifying.
That's an IFS thing.
Yeah, it's. I guess it's pretty normal. But I ended up throwing a Dana 30 in there because dime a dozen and easy to get parts for.
Hell yeah.
Now, was
Classic.
that like an upgrade for that? Over the
Probably a
Dana
parallel move, I'd guess.
35?
I think I had less wheel bearing issues, and the brakes diameter definitely went down by going from a 35 to a 30. But I had less issues with the unit bearings than I did with like the roller bearings in the races.
All right, that makes sense.
And it was I know you're on leaf springs, so it's was it a YJ one? And
Yes,
I thought the
yes.
YJ ones had which ones had the locking hubs? Jacob's CJ7 has locking hubs on it, but I don't know.
that would
Did
be
the
the
YJs have those?
CJs. The YJs just had a standard Dana 30, but it has the axle disconnect.
Yeah, because
okay.
the CJ would still be an AMC 20, I think it is in the front.
No,
No, they
I
had
don't know what
30s.
It was 30s, but they've factory
okay.
locking hubs. They've got
That's
little
pretty
U
cool.
joints though. They're not really desirable, I wouldn't think.
Huh. So the fun thing about Ryan is he's always the guy like the devil on your shoulder whispering in your ears, tons, tons, tons. When did you decide to go tons? Like what was the deciding factor?
I don't really know what the deciding factor was. Every time I went out with that Dana 30, I broke an axle. It was just every single outing, just accept you're breaking an axle shaft. So I kind of just tolerated it. I was like, oh, this is how you wheel. Like you break an axle every time you go out, and then you go home and fix it and do it again. And I don't know if I'm just too stupid to figure it out. But at some point, I was like, this isn't really that fun. I'm kind of sick of scrounging through junkyards for Jeep stuff when I don't even own a Jeep. And I think most of you, if not all of you, know my buddy Josh. So
Yep.
we were kind of driving around like before I even had the idea of doing tons, and I saw Super Duty, and I'm like, oh, that'd be awesome. I could take the axles out of the thing, put them in the Bronco, and we just sort of laughed, and we're like, you'll never do that. And we just ignored it. And like 3 to 5 years after that, a buddy at a junkyard's like, hey, I got a crash truck. The axles look good. If you want them, come get them. And I was like, nah, that doesn't make any sense. And I think I slept on it for maybe a few minutes, and I texted him at like 1:30 in the morning. I was like, hey, when you go to work, put those things aside. I'm coming for them.
I was gonna say, where like nowadays you'd be like, yeah, I'm on my way, or drop them off as you pass by, where it's just like anything bigger than stock, it's like I could probably sell those for a few bucks. Like
So that's pretty... like that. So that was when, like, I don't know. I don't want to say like nobody was running tons, but like it wasn't the normal.
It was before it was
like,
a common thing to do.
Exactly. And you see everything now, and you see JKs and they're on tons, and you see, now Cherokee's on tons, and I mean, even idiots with Bronco 2s are on tons. So I mean, like everyone's just sort of runs tons.
Yep.
Not me. Or at
Well,
least not yet.
Not you yet. Not you yet.
Yeah.
But Caitlin will be on tons soon enough.
Caitlin will probably beat me to being on tons, honestly. Like, she's still like in that like pre-stage, where like she has the world ahead of her to decide, where I've already put time and effort into this 30 and 44 setup that it's like, might as well keep running them. I don't know.
Yeah, because they're good axles. You got a good gear set that's not going to blow up on split rock like mine, and you've got that 44, which I've already proven is totally fine.
Yeah,
you're not gonna have any issues other than U joints. It's just you're gonna follow in Ryan's footsteps. As soon as you get bored of blowing up axle shafts, you'll put in the effort.
No, I'll probably just do chromos at that point and hate my life for it.
And then you'll blow the gear set, and then you'll be like, "Fuck this shit! I am fucking done."
No, that's when I get to look at Graham and go, haha, now you owe me a Data 60 gear set.
No, because chromoly's bend easier than your standard ones. So
they twist, you mean, or they bend?
Yeah,
They
Just have their point, like they're supposed to twist and untwist.
Yeah, so
yeah, but they don't always untwist. I see
Yes.
chromos twist more than
That's fine.
stock.
So
Who cares about
a little bit of
twisty
nerd
shafts?
stuff here. It depends on what type of chromo you get, because a 4043 is more likely to like almost torsion, and it will bend back. And I think it's 1541 material, which is the other material, is more likely to twist, and it's supposed to bend back, but that's where you'll get the rotational brakes. And the 4140 or 4340.
I need to get like scientific music to go behind you when you go on these little nerd rants. So it could just be like,
Sorry,
deep dive.
but the 4140 is where it will twist to a certain point and then it just shatters. So like Colin at what the fuck was it? Shoot the Moon.
It isn't. Whichever one is the 4130. Is that the one?
Yeah,
That's the twisty one. Isn't that the one that everybody makes?
So that goes into the material qualities and hardened versus unhardened. The unhardened shafts are the 4340s, or like they get a case hardening. The other ones get baked for a little bit longer with carbon impregnation, but both are equally as common.
So which one's better?
They're about the same, to be brutally honest. For front axle shafts, the 4340s have a slightly higher torsion strength, so that's why they're a little bit more popular. But the other ones are better for like a semi-floating axle because they're less likely to shear off. They're more likely to bend.
It's a lot of math for a guy that I didn't finish college. I have no idea what's going on.
It's not even math. It's just two options. You can choose bendy or bend and break.
Dummy. It's just numbers and metallurgy. So
Sorry.
Not even.
I feel like my drive shafts would explode before my gear set, though. To be fair, those things are so dinky. You're telling me that
Nope. Absolutely not.
I've never blown a drive shaft. I've fucked up drive shafts, but I've never blown a drive shaft.
I've exploded pinions on a Dana 35 without the gear set exploding.
You were running a
Cody,
slip yoke.
Yes.
On Ducky, with the rear drive shaft I had in that thing, it was a standard
sleeved.
Yeah, it was just 120 wall though. That ain't that much thicker than factory, and I cut the majority of the factory drive shaft off. So it was just that. But it blew the bolts off of the yoke before it twisted the 1310 drive shaft yokes out.
No shit. All right. Well, fuck it. But that's, I want that kind of break. I want that explosion excitement. Having like my peers dodging gear sets because I just did something dumb, like, and it's shooting out the side. Like, I love that.
Dodging a gear set.
Like,
so I'm glad I'm here to like be a part of this, because like I always listen to you guys, and it's always funny to like listen to Cody and how it like seems like he like wants to destroy his rig every time, and like I know he's all about that raisin life, but I gotta know why, man. Like,
You know,
Here we go.
when
The
your
interview's being
dick's small, you're fat, and you're ugly, you gotta stand out somewhere. Okay, Ryan, you want the truth. I'm a white guy in a white world because everybody sucks. And no, I'm just kidding. Honestly, it's just no. Honestly, it's just for the fun of it. I get like my life kind of revolves around the experiences I have with people. Like that's where I get my genuine happiness from. Like when I'm around a bunch of other people doing stuff that we all love, having a great time, that gets me happy. So if I can go out and put on a show and just do something funny and have a great, like to me, like that's what fuels me. So if I could just go out, do something dumb, everybody gets on video and they're like, ooh, like that ooh is what puts a smile on my face. So
you just like me in the
yes,
sort of the unfortunate one at the end of the video, right?
Yeah, but like
who's blown up, but it's fun for you, so it's not.
And it's a Dana 30 though. Like it helps because I've come to that realization. You know, if I put in like a fucking 2.5 ton axle in there, and I'm like, oh, this thing will never explode, hardy, and then I go and explode it, and everybody's like, ooh, then I look like the asshole because I'm like, this thing's indestructible.
No,
I'm fucking
that's
incredible.
Funny. That's funny too. That's actually more funny.
Yeah, but then that's when the joke flips on me. You know, if I set the joke
it's probably more expensive.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But if I set the joke up, it just kind of it's I don't know. I get to laugh too. So.
All right. Hey, I'm not knocking it as long as you're cool with it.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah. No, go ahead.
I'm towing that fine line between not giving a fuck and trying to keep the body straight. So I'm more with you, Ryan, on this one because I'm actually like the more work I'm putting into this Jeep, the more attached to it I'm becoming because it's becoming more of my like. This is the furthest extent that I've ever modified a vehicle, and it's cool.
Yep.
Yeah, see, and I don't know, you have appreciation for it. I get it.
The weird thing about my lack of care, though, it stops at windows. I give a shit about windows. I don't know why. I don't know. Like when I'm going around like an obstacle, like if I rub up against a tree, I'm just like, don't break the window. Don't break the window. Like, I don't know if I got tainted the time at like at Harris when I popped my rear and just like being the doofus now picking up shards of glass and like, and it's in dirt. So like the only way I could find the glass is just like slap my hand down and stab my hand and then just brush the glass off. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just tainted with that, but still,
I mean, it's never fun, but it's not the worst thing to happen.
But I could have a door ripped off and laugh about it. But like, if I blow a back window, I'm just like, fuck. So I don't know. That was a weird little input. But so you got 538s in that thing, Ryan. You got tons. You got stupid piece of poop rims that we can go into if you want.
I love them.
You're
the 16s.
Why?
So do you hear like that tone in your voice? Just the fact that you're annoyed makes me love them just a little more.
Yeah, okay. I mean,
I
that
don't
makes
care,
sense.
but like on the other hand, I'm a big fan of that like sticky life.
See, I don't.
Cheap stickies.
You're just not going to get stickies on a 16. It's just not going to happen.
Okay, I mean, I get it, but like, I care for you, and that's why I'm annoyed. Is because like you're limiting your options, man. You gotta broaden that horizon.
He limited his options when he built a Bronco too.
That's fair.
I guess you're right. Whatever. That's a fair answer.
Well, that doesn't mean anything. He's at a point where anything can be anything. He's got F250 axles under the thing. I've got some Super Duty rims that I picked up from Josh. You can have them, and there you go. You got 17s.
Yay! No, he's still not going to do
it.
No. I'm not buying you tires. That's your job.
Well, honestly, that would probably be the deciding factor. If you're like, hey, man, I just bought you sticky traps, and here's the rims. Well, yeah, all right.
All right, well, so we need a GoFundMe.
All
right, so no GoFundMe. We'll start an OnlyFans.
Gotcha. And it's just beer bellies and beards is what we'll call it. And it'll be sick. Like and Morgan Wallen, because Graham looks like Morgan Wallen. So beer belly and beards and Morgan Wallen.
That's going to be an odd page.
but it'll get the clicks. That's what we need. You know, you don't have to stay for the next few months, but we get you that first month. That's all we need, you know?
Hey Ryan, we got $14 towards Stinkies.
So we're basically halfway there.
In a bubblegum wrapper, but I ate it on the way. Oh shit. So quick derail. This next upcoming event, who's gonna be there? Because the three of you are not together, aren't you? Not meaning like Luke's Jeep's still not together, Graham's Jeep's still cut in half. I don't know where Ryan's
It's not
at.
cut in half. It's gutted.
Okay, okay, Fred
interior's not
Flintstone.
there.
All right, you know, it's the same thing.
Put the seats in.
Oh, well, that's good.
I didn't put them in. They're resting in there, right?
Oh, that doesn't count. No, that don't count. No.
I gotta buy drive shafts and do some tube work, and
Cool.
then it'll be good.
So so about you, Ryan? You gonna be there?
No.
Oh, well, that's lame. Oh, well.
You know,
So
Way to raid on my
last
parade.
time I saw you, you were down at the shop looking at the doubler setup when I had that. Did you ever make any decisions on that?
no, I looked at the Behemoth setup, and I was gonna do a strongbox or a strongbox shorty if it's in the budget. And I don't know. I guess I just didn't. And then there was like a lot of talk. I think you and I, correct me if I'm wrong, we discussed Atlas over a doubler.
Yes, we did.
So when I kind of looked at like the strongbox shorty, and then I still got to run a 1354, and then I still have to do a actuator delete, so it's a manual shift transfer case. We end up being, I think, like $1,000 away from a brand new Atlas. So
That's still $1,000.
it is.
Yeah.
You're right. But I mean,
That's the half.
if I have an issue, once I have an issue with the Atlas, you know, I can address it. If I have an issue, and like I'm not knocking Behemoth or anything, but you know, we're kind of far apart, and I don't really know anybody else running them.
They
So,
don't have
I
a
don't-
particularly good customer service history either. And I'm just gonna say that because I've been around on Pirate 4x4 for fucking like 6
Yeah, I don't
years,
think they've
7
ever
years
had an
now.
amazing reputation in the little I've seen. I will say, if you're
that's
for
scary in itself.
simplicity, now that I'm knee deep in the doubler swap, if you're doing, I mean, I'm sure I could have done it way simpler and it would have been done by now, technically, but it is definitely a more complicated swap than just bolting in an Atlas and, you know, mounting the levers, however many you end up putting in, right?
Right.
I don't know if it's, there's pros and cons to each, I think, right?
Agreed.
It's not,
I think one thing that I was leaning on, and I think Luke swayed me on this, was if you ever do want to get rid of an Atlas, like I can sell you my Atlas, and all we need to do is
Swap input.
we just need it. Exactly. Once we swap that over, like it's good for your Cherokee, or vice versa. If I'm like, hey, you know, I built this setup, there's kind of has to be like another Ford guy that's running the same transmission to
in
buy
your
this.
case, you're kind of screwed, right? Because I mean, my Cherokee one, you could bolt it into a
Yeah,
TJ,
not
you could bolt
only
it into an
that-
XJ. I if I didn't want it, I could offload it easier than you could with the Bronco for sure.
Of course.
The other thing with that is, say down the road, because you've had that thing for what, 15, 17 years now?
Yep.
Say down the road, you're like, yeah, this thing's never leaving my possession. The frame shot. I'm gonna have to tube it. Alright, well, I'm tubing it, and I'm putting a 5.0 in it because I've got a 5.0 that my buddy called me at the junkyard. There was a wrecked exploder down there, and I took the motor and transmission, or motor, and I swapped on like an F-150 transmission. Whatever, you slap that in there, you can get a different adapter, and the Atlas does not need to be replaced. You only need I think it's $250 adapter, or input.
Right. And I mean, who knows? Like, I could change my mind. Probably not going to happen, but I could change my mind and, you know, completely build something else, rip the axles out of this, and I can still use the Atlas in that vehicle.
True. All right, you set yourself up for this. If you had to get rid of the Bronco and pick something new, not necessarily a new vehicle, but a different body style, what would you pick?
Oh,
Any idea?
this is gonna bother Graham, and I almost don't want to say it.
Say it. You're gonna have to do it. I think I know what it is, though.
I would like to find a smashed up new Bronco.
New? Like new?
Like new. I want to find something like in a junkyard,
okay.
10 years from now.
I'm totally down with that. The new Broncos look sick. I just don't like the old ones, the original ones.
Well, hold on. There's two different style new Broncos. There's one that looks like a new Defender, which looks goofy in a grocery getter, bringing your kids to soccer practice, piece of shit, gonna get 3 miles to the gallon.
I assume he means the cool looking one that just came out that looks like the original Bronco body style, but with a modern flair.
Not the soccer mom one.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's cool. I
think something like that, and like actually put some money in it, and have a little bit of tube peeking out from the body here and there, and that was something that I think has to be a raisin. Like it needs to have some dents. It can't look nice. It can't look like something that I care about.
Well,
and with
oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Not
and actually, sorry, I'm going to cut you off, Luke. I'll give you one. I have to make my point here. I saw it was a newer body style Toyota pickup, and it didn't look like it was like a crazy off-road rig. It was definitely like more of a mild overlanding style thing, but it had big tires and it had a big gash across the bed. The whole bed was all smashed up on one side, but the rest of it would look pretty clean. And that, I don't know, something about that, it got my attention. You don't see that a lot around here, especially. But it's so cool seeing like new body style stuff that isn't all messed up, messed up and driven around and look nice still. Right?
Because it looks like it's not supposed to.
Yeah, it's not supposed to look like that.
I think
it's just something about it.
Had a Tacoma on 40s that was pretty cool. On the same vein.
No, I don't mind the Toyotas. I don't know anything about them. They're expensive. I'm not going to get one. Even the old ones are expensive. That's my only thing against Toyotas.
Yeah, but what I was going to say is that I think you've had that thing for what, 17 years, Ryan?
Yeah, yes. It's not 18.
So at that point in time, I see this thing eventually ending up a full tube buggy just as the years go by and more of the frame gets cut off.
I think it's going to end up there sooner rather than later, but I'm gonna hang on to it.
Do you have? I know you've got like
I don't know.
Cage. I don't know.
I'm honestly in the garage right now, staring at it outside, trying to figure out how much tube is there. But like, there's probably more than I would like to admit.
Like you'd think of like 100 feet, 150. Like I don't
There's
know.
At least 100 feet. There's at least 100 feet.
Okay, that makes sense.
So,
but yeah, there's no way I'll ever sell it. Like I will burn that thing to the ground before I sell it or give it to somebody.
I mean, hey, it's understandable. You mentioned the idea of taking a new Bronco and creating it into this like raisined out wheeler. It's funny because I always tell people if I ever win the lottery, I'm buying a Trackhawk and then building it into just the biggest piece of shit, like Super Duty on 40 stickies crawler, just cause. Like that, the only reason is just cause. Why not? Like
right, and that goes right back to Graham with it's not supposed to look like that. Like it's supposed to be nice and washed and clean, not like ran into rocks and trees.
Oh, that would be the most exciting day rolling up with them. People would just be like, why?
It's like the worst car bug ever, right? It's just like, it looks so much better when you destroy it, right? But it's still functional. I don't know.
Something that I loved about me joining the club was actually the first day that I met you guys was Ryan's first day as well. I never realized it until months later. Like I thought he was always a part of the club, and then the day we went
He
to
fits
the
right in. See,
yeah, like it literally like you guys are all chatting. Like there was no like weird like thing where he wasn't like antisocial, which he kind of is, but regardless, like that. But like, and then we went to Harris Mountain, and I think I got voted in at Battlegrounds, but something of the sort. And Ryan was like, "Oh yeah, I just joined too. I need my gray shirt." And I'm like, "Wait, what? You just joined?" He's like, "Yeah, dude, the first day that you were there was my first day." I'm like, "Oh,
So funny
cool."
thing about that is, Sean was like, "Just be cool." He's a cop, and I'm like, "What's that supposed to mean?" I get there, and he's wickedly cool.
Well, I feel like I don't think that follows into the stipulation, but like I don't even think I would have known. Like once I started talking with him, I think I would have learned, but I don't think I would have ever known that Ryan was a police officer.
You brought it up to me one day, like we were out, I think at Mount Bell, and you're just like, "Hey, are you a cop?" And like my perspective on that, it's either gonna go like really good or really bad when somebody asks you that.
Yes,
Or
I forgot you
there
were
is
you were
the
wearing
third option. Really don't care.
Yeah, but like it was fucking you were wearing this shirt, and I was like, "Wait, are you a cop?" And you were like, looking at the shirt, you looked at me, and you're like, yeah." Like it was so nonchalant, but I guess you're right. Yeah, because people are nowadays like cops, or people are like, "Dude, I fucking appreciate you." So I guess you're right. It is kind of hit or miss.
I don't advertise it. I don't know. That's not who I am, you know?
Well,
Yeah.
so I have to ask, given that that was your first time, was also Cody's first time, what was your impression when our ragtag group showed up and started doing hood rat stuff?
yeah, because you were just there for the day, right? It wasn't like you just happened to be there.
So like it's a long story, like how I even like met up with like Backyard Built as a group. But I knew you guys were going to be up at this place, so I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to go there. I'm going to meet everyone. We'll see how it goes." And I'm glad you asked me this because like I love telling this story. And like I showed up and there's just a bunch of rigs. The only rig like I recognized was Collins, but like I had no idea who he is. And instantly, like I'm watching people like hammering on axle shafts, like on a blind corner in the middle of the street, putting U joints in. And I'm like, all right, this is going to be an interesting day. But like everyone's nice. Everyone introduced themselves or at least said hi. Like it was like pretty laid back. So I was like, all right, well, we'll see how this goes. It's also like you guys were the only group that would like allow me to go out. And if you want to get into that, we can. But we ended up like getting a little ways up the. What's that?
You don't have to like throw down any club names, but were there any issues with that? Because I only know you from the time that we rolled around the corner at Ma Bell and I unloaded the Jeep and started going up the mountain after saying I like your wontons. And that was it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll leave names out of it, but I had wontons on my truck for like 3 years at the time, and I think I wheeled it like 4 times in 3 years. So I was like, like what the hell am I doing? Like, yeah. So some of the clubs, they were like, yeah, it's cool. You got a Bronco, like it's on a trailer, that's fine, but you need a spare tire. So I'm like, well, I don't know where I'm going to put, a 38-inch tire on a bead lock on a Bronco 2 that I can easily lift. Like, I'm not a huge dude. I'm not just going to muscle a 150-pound tire in a truck with 4 cubic feet of space. I mean, so like I was dead set. I was like, I'm not putting a spare tire on my truck. Some other clubs were like, oh, well, we don't allow trailers. And I said, all right. So I reached out to other clubs and they were like, well, sorry, we're Jeeps only. And I was like, all right, well, it is what it is. And one club even went to the point, one guy was kind of rude and he was like, oh, well, we're not even Jeeps only. Like, we're Wranglers only. If you don't have a Wrangler, you can't join.
What?
That is
these were NEA clubs?
Yes.
Holy shit. I didn't know it was that bad.
And this is why I'm a member of an off-road club, not a Jeep club.
Fuck.
And that's just it.
Well, it's because Ducky
And I
wasn't
ended
a
up-
Jeep. It was just an abomination.
I mean, Ducky started off as a Jeep, right?
Yeah, barely. It was a
Technically.
ZJ.
Wow. Damn, throwing shade. We love DJs here. You watch your mouth, Graham.
I'd
Jesus.
build a ZJ in a heartbeat. I think it'd be fun to build. I'll just throw shady up.
I would
But-
really love to be sacrilegious and rip a 5.9 out and put a Chevy 4.8 in its place just to piss people off.
Oh my
your thing.
god.
Sorry, it had to be said. You keep going. Where were we?
So,
Oh, sorry.
sorry. No.
What was your So you showed up to wheel with us. You mentioned we were hammering axle shafts into Colin's Jeep because it's just what we do.
Oh, that's right, because he had we put the factory forge shaft in that we got the night before this trip.
Hold up.
because he blew the other one up.
You should let that next part of the story be told by Ryan.
Okay.
So yeah, I chatted with a couple of you guys. Like everyone was super chill, easy going, and I looked over, like never really met Luke. He's like, I like your 1-tons, and then he just stood there like annoyed, and I didn't really know Luke at the time, so I'm like, I don't really know what the problem is, but getting to know Luke, yeah, he was kind of annoyed because he wanted to wheel, and people are fixing their stuff, like he's ready to go.
Oh man.
I show up,
But to
the rig comes off of the trailer, and the tool bag's already in it. Everything is ready to go. It's aired down half the time.
Now, was this Ducky or was this
This
No,
was
Baby Berry?
Yeah, Baby Berry.
Baby Berry.
So I think the best part for me of that day was we were probably like halfway up the mountain, and there's Graham destroying a hub on his Jeep, and like people are like clapping, and like Colin's giving him a hard time about it, and then like Colin's Jeep, like I think he either broke a knuckle or like sheared off some ball joints, so like his axle tube's like driven into the dirt.
Yep.
And I think Cody's off to the sideline, like laughing and clapping and doing whatever Cody does. And,
Sounds about right.
and like Luke is just like bombing up like these like little obstacles and like ripping the Jeep around and trying a different line. And I'm standing up higher, like watching all this unveil, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Baby Berry was like a spider. That thing would just go anywhere. It was so nimble back then.
Now it's just fat and happy.
Yeah, I know.
I do kind of miss that. I'm not gonna lie. That thing used to be like.
That run was that's quite the intro. Honestly, I forgot how much went down that day.
Yeah.
With the Colin blow and the ball joints. I think I still got up everything, even with the hub
Yeah,
not working.
you did diff dragger.
I've got
with the
videos
blown
of
hub.
me of the hub just absolutely denying me on some things, but we don't have video of me actually making it up. That last bit, which I did end up making it up somehow.
Well, that ended up taking like 4 or 5 minutes of spotting, so everyone quit recording because we were like
Yeah.
backing you up.
'Cause it was lame,
moving
right?
you-
It was just,
yeah,
like,
side to side, and then
getting
it
me
was
up.
like suddenly.
didn't think I was
bam,
gonna
you
make
went
it,
up
though.
it.
Yep. And then after that, it was just us sitting waiting for Colin. My allergies were just absolutely destroying me. I was just sitting there with like I had a shirt I was using as like my snot rag because I just couldn't control. Like I was just totally
Oh, it was a
out of it.
horrible weekend for allergies. I'm sitting there
Ugh.
sneezing, working with Ryan on Colin's Jeep. Ryan's never met Colin
Yeah,
before.
it was right. You were working on. You were basically doing like all
Half
the
the
prep work
shit.
to get the thing done. You were like, "Should we do this?" And I was like, half out of it because of the allergies. Just like,
Right.
Probably,
I remember
yeah.
talking to you and like snot's pouring down. It looked like you're crying. I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going on here.
Last podcast, my
bad
allergies
weekend.
got so bad that one of my eyes like started to fucking swell up. So
So, I mean,
It
just a
happens.
couple of minutes ago, you had you sneezed and had snot going down your beard. Sorry to mention that, but it was pretty funny.
I missed that part.
Ah, God.
See,
So
I'm surprised. I don't have any allergies this year yet. Like
I haven't
I
gotten
usually
anything
have
good either. Knock on
horrible.
wood.
Granted, I mean I'm not working right now, so I'm not out and about as much. But like, I'm the fingers crossed. I'm all right. Like I don't know.
Yeah, some years I'm better than others. This is not.
well, supposedly it might not be allergies. It might be the Rona, according to my
Oh, you
place
might
of
have Rona.
employment, and I am so sick of this shit.
My uncle had to go get tested. He was like, "Hey, I just want to get like a Flonase, like a prescription one from my doctor." And they literally like they sent him to go and get like he had to get two COVID or like negative COVID tests before he could go to the fucking doctors.
Well, that's because
How's that
Elon proved that one isn't good enough to
Yep.
prove that you're.
So I got the phone call what was it, yesterday, and like 6 o'clock at night. Hey, your coworker has an asymptomatic case, and I'm like, oh, whatever.
What the fuck?
Yeah, don't come in tomorrow. Go get COVID tested, and we have to get a clear result before you can come back in. And I'm like, dude, I literally was working with this dude 20 minutes ago. He was perfectly fine. I feel perfectly fine. Whatever. Okay, cool. I'll go get COVID tested.
It's not that kind of podcast, but yes, I think we all
Yeah,
know.
sorry.
So Ryan, mid-July, there's this fun adventure that we go on that you seem to prepare so hard for and then just ditch us. What are you doing this year for it?
No, he
So-
doesn't ditch us.
I'd like it to be known. I show up every year. Like
yes.
I'm there.
Yeah, for 4 hours, and then he said, "Fuck you guys."
No. The first time he was there for a while.
Was he?
So I showed up the first time, me and my buddy Josh, and we camped out the night before. And because I was super social, I literally picked the spot farthest away from anybody.
Which inadvertently
Wait a minute.
would have been.
Hold up. Did Ryan just say he camped the first time he went to Badlands?
Yeah, I think so.
I did.
He did.
What? That never happens.
You don't remember
So
that?
the
I
funny
wasn't
part
there.
is though,
Oh,
is-
you were lame.
inadvertently, he would have been right next to us. we chose to be far away next to the fire pit because we're like, we're gonna be the irresponsible young adults and party next to the fire while all the happy-go-lucky car camping adults are up on top of the hill. So like you literally would have been like 20 feet away from us. You would have been forced to socialize.
Oh,
But yeah,
God.
keep going. As you're saying, you parked far away.
Yeah, it was cool. Like you guys talked about on one of the podcasts, like how awesome the views are, and you're literally on top of a mountain. I mean, like you can see New York, and you're barely over the line in Vermont, and you can just look 360 degrees and just see everything.
Yeah.
So it's
So
it's always awesome going out. But I will say that every single time I go there, it's just always a problem. Like I was excited to go out, and I was excited to be there. And I think the first year it wasn't even like 9 o'clock. And there's like some other guys, and I talked to Sean, and he's like, yeah, if you want to go out with those guys, go wheel. Like most of you guys were like still asleep. So I'm like, oh, well, ADD's kicking in. I got to go. And I remember like I had a short run. And by short, I mean like it was about like an hour and 15 minutes. And I remember coming back, and my drive shaft was just like whapping against the frame rail because it's in the shape of a taco. I like sheared off U-bolts holding my front axle in. Both rear brake lines were pinched off because they got ripped off on a rock. We like caved in like one of the sides of my bed. Both doors had mirrors ripped off of them. And we ground down the steering cylinder on a rock, so it's just spraying power steering everywhere. And it's like 9:45
Of the first day of wheeling.
Yep.
Yeah, on the
Yep.
first day. And I was like, wow, that was fun.
Spectacular.
Never
The second
Yeah.
day
And
went,
then-
or the second trip went better.
No, hold on.
It did.
He's not.
It went a
he's
lot
not-
better.
He's not done yet though with the first day or the first trip story. What happened when
I'm
you
not?
went wheeling? What happened when you went wheeling with me and Marvell?
And at Badlands?
Yeah, you don't remember him catching on fire?
Oh, yes.
You literally, we're going up the trail, and all of a sudden it's like Ryan's like, "You're on fire." And then Brandon's like, "What?" And he hops out, has to run in the back, like dives through the door to grab it, and Ryan's just chilling there, like watching, like, this sucks. Like I could just see in his face, like he was like, "This is a clusterfuck." I was like, all right. Anyway, so the second trip went better.
It did. I got to wheel with you guys for a while. Like we made a full loop, like no real damage, nothing. I don't know, broke. I guess
eventful. And then I'll let you tell the story. I think I know
Yeah,
where it's going though.
You do because you were there. We were gonna go try some different trails, and I was like, "Yeah, that'll be good." And me and the wife are running that year, and like I kept having like something binding up, and I'm like, that's weird. And like I got out, everything looks fine, which I hate when everything looks fine because that means it's internal. And we drove a little farther and like got out again, and like now I'm like hearing all these noises, and I'm like, It's like we went a little farther, and I'm like, yeah, something's wrong. I put it in two wheel, and everything works perfectly. So turned around, we went back to camp, and when I got home, the chain and the transfer case is all stretched out. Like half the teeth on the front output are just ground off. And I was like, oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, you answered my question. I was going to ask what was wrong with that transfer case. Because you were going up that hill. I had similar, it never got that bad, but with my 231 at Ma Bell at one point, it was popping.
Oh, I remember that trip. That was the
And-
trip that Ryan came the first time because you blew the hub that day and your transfer case was going off.
That was the yeah, I just had everything just breaking on me. But it literally reminded me of that exact scenario where it's just like you just hear it as it slips on that front output and just sucks. Transfer cases are not they're boring to rebuild. And honestly, the doubler that I've been doing, it's cool, but it's boring because it's like nobody's ever gonna see it. Yeah, it sits higher than 231 ever did, but like it's all this work for like one extra stick. I don't know. I hate working on them.
But it's not all that work for one extra stick. It's all that work. Like that thing is going to be a completely different vehicle.
I know it is, but right now it doesn't seem like it because it's sitting there and it's been sitting. But it will. I'm sure it will. But the front digs will be worth it.
Yes.
But I hate working. I don't like internal work. I like doing the fabrication stuff. Honestly, the floors are going to be a lot of fun. Once I source the tube, I need to call the tube place tomorrow, the metal place. That's gonna be fun. I don't like rebuilding engines or rebuilding transfer cases or rebuilding steering boxes. I do it. I'm fascinated by it. I always have been by just tearing into it and seeing how it works. Otherwise, I just don't trust it. But it's not what I like doing. So I don't know. I don't like following instructions, and that stuff is all like you have to follow the instructions. So
especially steering boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only know how to do steering boxes because I've had several failures, catastrophic failures, but now I'm pretty good.
Well, good for you for perfecting it. I mean, I did it once, and I'm not about to do it twice.
Well, it sounds like you know a guy. You might be able to call him, and he can help you out.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll drive it out there.
And Graham gets to learn a new steering box all over again.
Oh, they're all about the same.
Oh, are they?
It's just a different amount of those stupid balls, and hopefully they're color coded. Otherwise, I have to get out the really shitty micrometer that. No, I wasn't even using. I was using a caliper. It was a digital caliper. But
please
the
tell
balls
me it was
are
a Harbor Freight special.
It was a Harbor
Excellent.
Freight.
That just makes me so fucking happy to hear.
So these, if you know anything about steering boxes, the balls that are in those little that are in the worm gear are, I think there's like a half of a thousandth difference between them. So if you have a really shitty digital micrometer, your caliper, you can't really tell. So it's just
you can't really tell with calipers in general. That's just not what
you
they're
can't.
Made to measure.
But I was figuring it out. I got it to work, and the box is still intact. That's the one I'm currently running, which I do have to swap, but for different reasons. It's because the threads on the actual box are coming out because I was an idiot and didn't tighten it right, and then I gave it to Colin, and he sort of sealed the deal on it. But That one wasn't color coded. I've done other ones where the balls are color coded. The smaller ones are one color and the bigger ones are a different color. But apparently, my box it wasn't. So caliper it was, and digital caliper in all of its glory. And we guessed our way to victory. Always fun.
Yeah,
And this is what you get.
Still-
and this is why I do
I'm
stuff
still
cheap.
not sold on trying it again.
Oh,
So I mean, I run an orbital valve now. So if you want to take your hand at that,
Oh, you
go
have
for
you
it.
have full hydro? What?
Yeah,
When did that
Wait.
happen?
when did you do
Damn.
these cool things?
It's been
A
like that
year
for
ago?
like 6 months, a year. Yeah.
yeah.
Have we wheeled in
He
the past?
did the
6
hydro when
months?
I did my 1 tons.
No, he
Oh,
Yes.
didn't.
So,
I thought you did
technically, as you
hydros.
sh- so would that have been at Badlands?
No, that would have there was still snow on the ground last year.
It
When I
was
did
at
full hydro.
Badlands on hydro.
Oh, okay. Well,
Cool. That's
it's
pretty
turning
cool.
more and more into a buggy every day. Once you get rid of the leaf springs, it's
No, those
Yeah,
things are
over.
staying just because it bothers people.
So this
Okay.
year, are you? Oh, go ahead.
No,
You
okay.
seem excited.
I have to weigh in just because I wheeled the J20 on front and rear leaf springs, and it was absolutely abysmal. Like, it sucked. Are your leaf springs at least softer? Right, these are 3/4 ton leaf springs in this truck, and it wasn't fun. I
Well,
won't
he's
do it.
on. Oh, go ahead. You can explain it. Sorry.
So I'm on YJ leafs, and the front is, I think it's supposed to be like a 4-inch leaf, and they sit pretty flat. And the rears, I'm only running like 2 or 3 leaves on the rear. So I mean,
Okay.
my
So it's
truck's
pretty
pretty
smooth.
soft. Yeah,
Okay.
and I mean with all the steel in there, that thing's got to be pushing like 4,800 pounds.
Yeah. So
Welcome to the Chunky Monkey Club.
yeah, she's a little hefty.
So I just
was-
started. Oh, sorry.
is it heavy because of what's heavy on that thing? I always thought of it as it looks fairly light, honestly, when you look at it.
So it is and it isn't. Like when I redid like the floors and everything, like everything in there is for sheet metal 16 gauge.
Okay.
So like that added quite a bit of weight. The cage added a little bit. I plated the frame. It does have a full frame, so like a little bit different than the unibody. Obviously, you're
Yeah.
just adding weight. That engine is surprisingly heavy.
Yeah, isn't it an iron block with iron heads?
Yep.
Huh.
Other than that, I think I redid the bed, and that just added more weight. But between the fuel cell with I think 10 gallons in it and the toolbox, it was like 240 pounds.
Damn.
Holy
Damn.
shit!
Yeah.
So, on the note of adding weight, I've realized that my pig is getting a lot heavier because of the amount of box tube that I have to throw in there to cover up the 4-link. Probably going to be an extra 100 pounds between that and the fucking just in tube weight, and then not counting the 4-link shit. So, I don't know. I bet you I break 5K this year.
I'm about
I
the
bet
same
you're
boat.
going to break 5K.
The trailer's gonna hate you.
Yep.
Oh,
Still not
can we
for
take a
sale.
bet on the weight?
Ooh, we could. That'd be fun. Do a little like
on the berry, I'm gonna say 5,300 fully loaded.
No.
Yeah.
Well, oh wait, fully loaded meaning
I
with the
could see-
spare full fuel tank and his
Fully loaded. He's
big ol'
going on a
butt
wheeling
cheeks in
trip.
it. Ooh,
Because mine gets
fuck.
pretty fucking heavy when I go on. Like normally, it's not that bad, but if I go and pack up for a trip, it's heavy. It might not be $5,000, but it's pretty damn close. If it isn't,
So my guess is gonna be 5250 or no 52,500, right? No 5250. That's the math. Sick. 5250 on road, on trail 49.99. That's my guess.
okay. Well, pick one.
No, fuck.
You
Then
have to- you have to-
49.99.
What the scenario is important. So you're
40.
saying
Okay, so
you're saying like
4,900.
unloaded, no gear.
Well, he doesn't. So you gotta think he doesn't carry.
trailer.
He doesn't have
Or he doesn't
a
drive it.
yeah,
Trailer.
so
so
he doesn't have a toolbox in there.
there's no fully
keeps-
I
loaded.
do have a tool
keeps his-
bag in there.
Yeah, but you don't keep your spare in there. You keep your spare in your truck. And you've added a decent bit, but you've also cut out a lot of floor.
But that's all getting added back in, and that's going to be 1 by 1 by 1/8 wall tubing for making the frame.
I'm sticking with 49.99. I'm sticking with it.
I'm putting the weight.
We won't tell you to change your bad guess.
Ryan, you got one?
I'm gonna go 5,200, no spare, ready on the trail.
I'm going with 50 5050 with
55
50-50.
50/50 with
50/50.
a tool, or with the tool bag in it and with a cell in it.
Huh. So at Price is Right rules, I'm guessing can't go over, right? Huh. All right, well we'll have to just
It's a good thing
Yeah.
that there's a scale down the road from Kish's that they just let me drive on. So,
Well, you can just drive on whatever scale you want, and then you go in and ask them what the weight is. That's what
No,
they
it
do with
shows
the
up
dump.
on a screen.
yeah.
Oh, it does. Oh,
yeah,
that's
like in
fancy.
the windows. Yeah, well it's for like gravel
Scrapyard.
pits and stuff. Yeah, scrap yards, gravel pits, anything like that.
Oh, see, the,
Yeah.
the
Stops
dump where I
11.
live, you have to go in to actually get the weight. They don't have
Weird.
like a little, yeah.
Well, you're fancy on the North Shore.
Apparently not, because we don't have screens telling us the weight real time.
I always love the screens because like whenever I go to the dump and I see like one of their triaxle trucks coming out at like 120,000 pounds, I'm like, holy shit, that thing is fucking heavy. I'm like, I ain't getting in front of that guy. Like it's crazy to think that something just rolling down the road casually is that fucking heavy. It's cool.
Yep.
Well, think about it a little bit more. What's your truck and trailer and Jeep weigh together? You know, the trailer's 2,000, Jeep's 7 or 5,000, so that's 7,000, and then the truck's another 7,200. So
His Jeep is not 5,000. His Jeep's probably like
38.
no,
3,500.
I'm just saying for mine.
Yeah.
Oh, yours. Yeah. Okay.
Well, that's because you have a Ford and it's rotted, so it's a little bit lighter. You got to remember that. So when you get up on that scale, you might want to like put the Chevy in front of it. I still have my bedsides, don't worry. So at least those are there. we'll get a real weight of the truck, you know.
So I do have to thank Ryan because he's got a sick gray Super Duty, and he
thought it
talked
was
me into
white.
getting a 6.2.
Wait, it's gray.
It's white. It is white.
No, that
it's
was
gray.
a joke
Oh, it's
because
white. Fuck.
on the podcast I brought it up once, and he texted you and me. It was white.
I was gonna say, I'm like, am I losing my mind? I was like, I could have sworn it was fucking white.
No, that's just fucking with him.
Gotcha. Jeez. So I really wonder why you got pulled over into the truck stop that day going up to Badlands. It's very weird to me.
Yeah. So like, I drove truck for, like 11 years, and I never saw that weigh station open. I never saw it ever open. And so to see the sign lit up, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. And like, he didn't even like ask for like license. All he asked was, is that your vehicle? And I said, yes. And he's like, have a good day. So I run passenger plates on my truck. So I'm guessing he saw passenger plates and assumed I was hauling it for a friend. And I was guessing I was about to get jammed up for that.
Interesting. So wait, he wanted to just make sure that the vehicle on the back was yours.
I guess so.
So what happened?
But I mean, I was going to Badlands and I got stopped at a weigh station.
By a
should have
cop
been like,
or
yep. So trooper. But it was really just at a weigh station. So like if you're a truck, you got to pull in.
Really?
And
I've always just kind of
basically
yeeted past those.
That's called Indian running? No. Oh shit, there's an actual term for it. Never mind. Carry on, sorry.
But yeah, like if your vehicle weighs, I think it's like over 6,000 pounds, you have to go in there.
Oh,
see, fuck.
Ignorance is
now I can't
bliss,
play.
see?
No, but now we know.
You didn't know.
We know. Ryan's gonna tell his police friends and be like, "These guys know now." Dang, I didn't. I thought it was only if you're running commercial. I didn't realize like even if you're in a 2,500 and over truck, you have to stop. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, I mean, like even like an F-150 with like a utility trailer on it, like you're over 6,000.
No
Now,
shit.
what is the purpose of? I mean, I thought I understood them for, tractor trailers maybe, but I never like. When are they open and when are they closed? What's the purpose of that? I've never understood that.
You can
So
explain, right?
I've never understood either, but if I had to
Okay.
guess, like it was, like a Saturday morning. I figure like most people are probably out on the roads traveling, doing stuff. So I assume they're just trying to get people doing something wrong.
Mm.
Well, yeah, because if supposedly, according to one of our friends who runs a tow truck company, if your truck is rated to haul more than 10,000 pounds and you have a trailer that's rated for more than 10,000 pounds, that you require a CDL, according to him, which I am fascinated by because I've never once heard that. And I mean, for work, I tow a like 3,500 Chevy with like 2 yards of dirt in the back, which is like 7,200 pounds, and then plus a Bobcat plus a 14K trailer. I'm like, fuck, dude, if I ever got pulled, I would be fucked like royally. Yeah, so that's
know where to get them.
Once you get over that 26,001, I mean, which is easy to do in today's trucks.
Yep.
Well, I guess you're right. Jesus Christ, that is fucking heavy. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't be driving that. Texting and just texting and driving while like spitting a dip out the window.
Well, you shouldn't be doing that anyways.
I'm kidding. I'm fucking kidding. Jesus, I would
Gotta slam them there gears on that old
Hey.
Chevy 4-speed. Spit your chaw out the window and not hit the Cat D9 behind you because that 350's doing fine.
Well, see, that's why I always go through your town, Ryan. So if I ever get pulled, I can just be like, "Hey, no."
So
I'm just kidding.
So without actually saying the town, do you really go through my town?
Oh, all the time. We have a few properties up. I can explain it later, but yeah, we have a few condo associations up a little bit north of you and in the town below you. So I'm always traveling through like that Cumbies area where the CVS and the Cumbies. I'm constantly going that way.
Wow,
I'm happy that I know that intersection.
That's fascinating because I've never received a phone call or a text from you that you were.
You work nights, mister. Okay, like I don't know. Well, I mean, okay, I'm only doing it. I only really go up that way for work. If personal vehicle, like I'm never really up that way. So
yeah.
Otherwise, hey, if there's an offer to come and visit, I will gladly come and hang out.
Of course.
Sweet. I'm gonna come bother you now.
Yeah, maybe you'll get that Bronco all set, ready, rip.
Yeah, we'll see.
No, because I'm just gonna like kick its tires and be like, it's not done yet, and then just make fun of it.
Cody, you still have shit to do on your Jeep, I think, right?
I have way too much shit to do. Okay, I have.
You haven't been doing it.
A pile of parts.
Considering you don't have any work to be doing right now.
My camera's not on, but if you could see the pile, I swear to God, it's halfway up my chair behind me of just parts, and a decent bit of it is like I'm inexperienced in the like.
Well, you're gonna have to get experience one way or another, so start bolting it on.
Yeah, I know. Okay, man, I'm gonna do it. Just you watch your mouth, mister.
See,
okay.
you mentioned that what you like doing is putting on the show, right, for people.
Yeah,
I'm the exact opposite. The show is just sort of secondary to my main goal, which is just to build cool stuff. I love working on the Jeep. I don't really care about the trips. Are fun, don't get me wrong. It's a really nice byproduct of building cool stuff for me, but it's never been about putting on a show.
Well,
the whole nothing to prove kind of thing.
Yep.
Well, I don't have anything to prove either. I just was saying if I'm gonna do something, I want to do it big. That's all.
So you're saying is we need to record more stuff when Cody's driving.
Well, I mean, I almost flopped on like the dumbest fucking obstacle up at Brookridge the other weekend.
Let's not forget your incident at Cash's.
What incident?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. I think.
No, he was talking about when he was backing off of that rock ledge at Brookridge, the first one.
Oh, yeah, recently. Crap, I forgot we had.
Why are my potential rollovers so stupid? Is it just a product?
That wasn't a stupid one. That was like fairly legitimate. Like,
Yeah,
you were
but
doing a
just-
harder line on a hard obstacle to begin with. That's denied
On a
a lot
30
of
and
people.
35.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. How long was I sitting in there when you were riding passenger, trying to
A
get up
while.
that? I
It
was the
was-
trail scab.
It's so dug out now. It's a totally
bad.
different obstacle than it used to be.
Even
know-
the right is not a fun obstacle. It just looks dumb. Like
It was just- It's painfully slow to try to get up some of that stuff. But
Yeah. I have to say though, another thing that's cool about Ryan is he's a good sport about it. We had a wheeling trip where he ended up riding passenger, and it was entertaining just for the commentary as we're going up Ma Bell, or I think it was Ma Bell, right? That time.
I think I met you, like met up with you there, because my truck wasn't ready or something.
Your truck wasn't ready, so you were riding with me. That was a good time. And then that time that we
was
went
was
up,
that the day we got hung up like behind a group of people for like 2 hours?
yes,
Yes.
yes,
Wait, that was that day he came. Wait,
yeah,
so he was with
he
us
did
the Jeep
because
on
I remember
CT?
because I've got a picture of me in Luke's Jeep for some reason, and Ryan is like sort of visible in the background. It's and that's where we met. Oh
Mark.
man, I don't know why.
Mark.
That's where we met Mark.
Yep.
And sort of he got bit with the 1-ton bug, and now he's doing really cool stuff. And I can't wait for him to be done to actually come out with us.
Me too. I'm very excited to see his setup. Sorry, I was away from the mic. So I'm trying to think of what I was just about to say. So when do you plan on being done with your rig this year, Ryan? Not done, but like
what's on the list to get done?
Literally order a diff cover, fill the differential with fluid, and change the oil.
Okay, so like
what the fuck?
you'll be out on the
Are
24th.
you
See you then.
what? I will order
So-
your stupid diff cover right now just to see you on the 24th. Like what?
So I mean, somewhere between like 1 and 5 weeks.
One, oh my God.
hey, he makes me feel good about my progress. Today I felt like an eager beaver. I cut my floor out, I notched some tube, I got my cross member burned in. I'm feeling like I did something.
Good for you.
Oh,
Did you cut out all your floor because of the amount of floor I'd cut, or was it already cut like that?
No, I cut the floor out because I realized at the point where if I cut the control arms, just like making a triangle, I'm still going to have a huge chunk of floor to cut out. I'll just cut
Yep.
a box. And then I'll build 1x1 square tube into a box around that and put sheet metal over the top of that, and I'll have a simpler solution because what difference does it make? The rig's a shit box anyway. The back's cut up. I'll fucking build up fucking 1x1 mounts to attach the sheet metal to where the floor is attached and tie that into the cage too. Build my fenders off of it and just do something simple like that to make it so re-sheet metaling it will be easy enough. Compared to, say, bending up a like bending and notching the sheet metal and laying it over itself to get a actually nice surface where it's not gonna like have any wind effect or anything dumb like that, because I do want to close it up and make it nice again.
Yep.
Essentially, all it's doing is holding sheet metal, right?
Yeah, all it's doing is holding sheet metal, but because you're using smaller pieces, you can just weld directly to it and make square plates instead of making multiple shapes to cover over, like where the transmission I've got that hump in the floor, so what I was going to do is just make a little bridge to go up and around the hump, but have it be more of an angle so I can just tie sheet metal directly into it with square lines and like easy to cut angles in it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll see
Because
what-
I'm just a poor sheet metal fabber.
I'm in the same boat. I don't know how I'm gonna do. I have an idea, but until I actually have a substructure, and I don't know how I'm gonna do the floors yet. We shall see.
Nice.
But it's a little more work than a diff cover and a couple fluid changes. So you've got no
Yeah.
excuse.
So yeah,
Other than
know,
if work
know.
is in the way. I know that sometimes is right? I think usually that's why you can't make it out.
Yeah.
Correctly.
Yeah. Like I don't take a lot of time off. I just kind of I try to stay busy. I try to do stuff.
Yep.
But
Wait,
I've
you
got
fucker,
literally.
you have this whole week off, you bastard. Take a day out and go and do it.
I did some work yesterday.
Perfect.
That's why he's only got fluid changes today
Yeah.
or tomorrow.
I don't know, man. I got like 50 hobbies, so I try to stay busy.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Um,
So you already took your 1 day for wheeling, so now you can't get. Now I understand. Got it. Well, hopefully, if you're
No,
not there with your rig, we'll get you out there and at least in a passenger seat.
I'll be out there soon. Don't worry.
Sweet.
Yeah, the season.
Don't forget, we got the
cross hasn't
season
really
opener
started.
at Kish's coming up in early May. That's what I'm
Yeah,
shooting for.
that'll be easy.
So
That's
okay, so we're-
Season opener. The season technically
yeah,
opened.
no, you're right, but
You missed
it's
it.
at his.
Richie's season opener.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry, on the property, the season
the
opener.
property's
on the property.
opening run.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just amped for that. I got to get
Yeah.
my tires up to Tri-City pretty damn quick. I need to get one of my reds vulcanized because reds always need to be vulcanized.
The sidewall is really like that thin, or what?
No, they're
They're
okay tires. They're just retardedly soft. And the sidewalls are like a standard mud tire sidewall when you compare it to, like, they're about the same thickness as my Nittos. But when you consider the environment where they get used, it doesn't. I'm not surprised that it gets cut. It's not like as thick as, say, an SX or some of the other brands. But even like the Mickeys are known for cutting sidewalls now. It's just, yeah.
Gotcha.
You know, it's a standard mud tire. It's not a bias ply. It's a radial. It's just a really sticky radial.
Interesting. I always thought stickies were bias plies.
No, those crawlers are technically radials.
So you could run them down the road?
They're not DOT certified, so not really. And also, let's be real with the state of those crawlers. I don't want to run them down the road because they're at the prime traction spot.
Those things are so ugly.
Oh,
They're
I
gonna
know.
look so gross on your rig. I can't wait to see it.
With gold rims and $2 bills spray painted in it.
Oh no.
Maybe
I'm
even a stripper
scared.
rock ring.
I forgot you were debating doing that.
You're gonna look like one of those mud life guys.
Well, if you're gonna do the TMI, order them quickly because mine took 2 weeks.
Oh, fuck.
So if you only had to wait 2 weeks for TMI, that was pretty quick.
Yeah, I know.
I know some people waited well over a month.
I didn't get anything special. I got literally like the thinnest lip rock ring I could get because I was looking at some of the fancy ones. I was like, why am I looking at these? It just needs to be dirt simple. I don't need it to draw attention. It just needs to be functional. So
Yeah, whereas I don't care. I care if it was the rims with the Nittos.
yeah, no. The stripper one so gaudy looking. I love it.
Black stripper thong, Rust-Oleum gold spray paint for the rest.
Oh no.
No,
I don't
It's
want
gold,
it.
so you know it's classy.
hey man, it's Subi colors. It's got to be good off-road, right?
No, isn't that bronze? It's yellow is the racing, the blue and yellow, and then the bronze wheels. It's like I guess it's more of like an anthracite. But whatever,
I was
it's
just
fine.
making the joke from the blue and yellow cars that they used to run.
Gotcha. Well, shit, you're not wrong. You're not that far off. Oh shit.
So, I have to ask, has joining the club had an effect on your rig? Because I know that for every one of us on the chat it has, or on the podcast it has.
Oh, absolutely. And like that's just getting out there like with you guys, and it's like, all right, well, Luke went up that. Well, what do I need to do to also get up that? And it's nice like actually having a group of people and like I see like your guys' rigs progress, and it definitely makes me like all right, well maybe I'll get around to actually doing this and building something a little bit better. And it's like basically all the projects on it that like I've put off over the years, you guys kind of make me want to get them done.
Correct me
it's
if I'm
nice.
wrong.
It's the camaraderie, right? We're like, all right, we're all gonna get up the obstacles slowly.
Absolutely. Like I don't want to be that. I hate being the trail scab.
I
You're never a trail
specialize in
scab.
it.
Your rig's always a show to watch get up some of the stuff.
And that's
And it's
the
always
best
interesting
Thanks.
breaks.
Yeah, and that's the best part about Ryan's too. Is either it makes it up so fucking simply that it's like, wow, that looked. Did he even care that he was walking over that, or it just like goes into it and just blows a T case, sends the fucking drive shaft
Brokerage
to the
strip
moon.
with the fucking
Leaf
bent
spring.
leaf spring.
Yeah, like I love that.
Yeah,
I love-
yeah, that was not fun.
Yeah, leaf spring breaks like that are never good.
Oh, I love that
but
though.
I
Twists.
correct me if I'm wrong though, Ryan. You came out with us with Mini Berry, but that was Mini Berry's last run. The next run that
Yep.
you saw, it showed up on 1 tons at Harris Mountain.
Yes.
No, it showed up at Brookridge. It was at Brookridge with 1 tons.
Nope.
No, I definitely saw it at Harris because someone's like, "Oh, that's Luke," and I'm like, "What the fuck? Like it's on 40s."
Wait, was he there that day?
I was there at that Harris trip.
Yep,
So it
he
was
showed up.
Harris, then it was the Brookridge Harris event, right?
Yeah, was that the 2-day
that was
thing?
the
We went
camping
Brookridge
trip,
to
yeah.
Harris.
Yes, because I
We did
broke
Wall
my.
of Death.
I was with you when you
No,
had
not with
the
the
first
Wall
time
of
out.
Death.
That
That
one?
was the
No.
camping trip where we sat around the fire until like 1 in the morning with just
Yeah.
Colin, you, and Cody.
That was a fun time. Listen to what was it? We're jamming out to Tyler Childers and
Yep.
just
Well, that's
trying to
like
cook.
standard at this point.
We were trying to cook something. I forget what it was, or is me just burning things? Like
It was-
we're
No,
not-
that was
grabbing the
that was
cast iron
the
pan.
second. That was the second camping trip. That one was the Wall of Death one, not
Yeah,
the
you're
one
right.
where because we did hot dogs on sticks that time. I remember that. Oh God, we're a disaster, aren't we? But it was just funny because Ryan comes up to me and he's like, "So, what did you do to the rig?" Just like casually, but at the same time, surprise.
I wish he came up to you and had said, "Nice 1 tons," and just full circled it. That would have been
That would have
beautiful.
been perfect.
It's that opportunity.
Dang, next time.
Next rig.
Oh shit.
But it's always fun to see like Luke's rig, and I like every time I see it, it's like there's something different, and like even seeing it torn apart in the shop, like there's like these like beautiful coilovers just sitting on the hood, and you're like, oh, all right, well, Luke is like in a completely different ballpark now, and you know, like I felt decent about like my truck, and then you see that, and like you touch those coilovers, and you're like, oh, never mind, I'm right field in the minors, Luke's shortstop in the majors now.
Nah, those are like $800 special coilovers. Don't feel bad at all. You've got more money
Dude.
going into your transfer case.
It took me like 2 years to buy like some white-bodied shocks.
See, that's what makes me want to get ORIs just for the fuck of it and run them on the 30, just cause. So people be like, "Why?" I don't know. Just
You're
fuck
gonna
it,
have
right?
to learn how to tune those, and then we're gonna have to have Curtis on the podcast a lot more as you have questions.
No, I okay. You know, I started out from dirt bikes, and literally an ORI is just a front fork on a dirt bike. It's literally that simple. So I'm not that concerned. Internal bump stops, gas springs, and a little bit of
Okay,
hoo-ha
man.
dust. And hey,
Show
I'll
me
run
how
it.
it is
Just
done.
charge them up and go. Then we'll see how
That-
you do.
Well, that's not how that works.
Yeah.
Just because Curtis magically does that every time does not mean that's how that works. You're not
Well,
supposed
he only has to charge his up because they leak down.
to. That's not good. And the reason is probably because there's no oil left in them to go past the seal. Like,
You hear
it's
that,
just
Curtis?
air.
There's no oil left in your eyes. It's all gas, no oil.
It's junk.
Oh God.
How much are ORIs?
Expensive.
I think it was like 1,200 a pair.
Oh, dude, we'll throw them on the credit right now. Let's get it. 16-inch travel ORIs. And if they're too big, if 16 is too big, we'll just make the shock hoop bigger, but it's not a shock hoop.
I'm not even
Alright.
gonna entertain this stupidity at the moment.
Dude!
Get your fucking track bar in. Get
Dude,
your
it's
goddamn track bar in.
$1,000. Oh yeah, I haven't even ordered that yet. Why did I buy a fucking Hydro Assist before I even bought my track bar? God, I'm a fucking idiot, huh? Dude, these are $800. Let's do it.
What's
I'm
wrong
just
with
kidding.
the track bar?
I didn't buy it. I don't have it.
He doesn't
I just don't think-
have, or he's got a single shear tie rod end track bar at the frame side with the factory bracket.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You're dumb. Fix
Thank
that.
you. Well, because it's the process in my head is okay. If I'm gonna do that, I might as well wait until I get my stiffeners. If I'm gonna do my stiffeners, I might as well do the fucking limit straps. If I'm gonna do the limit straps, I might as well do the bump stops. To do the track bar, I need the bump stop. So like it's just this vicious circle that I'm kind of stuck in. To do it, I need to do. Oh, I don't even need
You
to
need
do
to
the
pull into my shop for like 2 weekends. It's not that bad.
Pretty much.
You'll be a big
Yeah.
boy.
Okay, well, you only got 3 weekends, so chop
Well,
chop.
I don't. No, I'm gonna wait until Luke's done. I'll keep running my setup the way it is until Luke's done with his. I don't want to put any weird pressure on him. That's all. Actually, it's not
Right.
even. I could literally do it with Luke just going burr that in. I go okay, burr, and then it just burrs in. You know.
Or are you doing a weld-on track bar or a bolt-in track bar?
Well done. The fuck? Well, it's an over the axle, so I have to weld that bracket on, and then the bracket.
Okay, so you're getting rid of the bump steer.
Yeah, and
You
the
win.
track and the upper bracket, I'm gonna support it so I don't have dummy problems like Luke. Well,
Or Grambo.
Yeah.
well, no. The unibody can definitely still explode. I'm saying you know how you ripped yours off at Brookridge? I don't want to have that problem.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Well, that's only because you shaved it. It wouldn't. It never did that with me.
Yeah, no, I had to shave it to get it to clearance the stiffeners, so there was like a lot less material, almost like an eighth of an inch or maybe like a quarter of an inch, and it just split open and yeah,
Yeah.
it was bad.
I think it was a combo, right? I don't think that track bar was ever really meant for that level of rig. Your Baby Berry was like pushing the limits of Dana 30, Dana or 8 1/4 and 35s. Like that thing was impressive as it sat.
It was fun to go through that transition though, going from Ducky to Baby Berry and then from Baby Berry back to 1 tons. And now I'm starting to like really feel confident in the rig, so I'm hoping this season is going to be good.
I really want to throw these on the credit card and just say fuck it.
Yeah, if
no,
you can get
stop
Big
it,
Berry.
Cody. Behave yourself.
I keep looking at him. I'm like, it's just it takes
Cody,
one click.
Cody,
One click.
I will tell you to do it after you've got the track bar burned in, you've got everything else all set, everything is mint on your rig beforehand.
I should probably figure out my leaf spring problem in the rear before I get ORIs.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, dang it. All right, Luke, you're right. The credit card's happy too.
No, you are going to be happy because you're not going to be paying the credit card off.
You honestly, Ryan and Graham are paying it off. I'm on unemployment. I get paid to sit on my ass right now. So the taxpayer money is going towards ORIs.
I'm okay with my tax dollars going towards that.
Yeah, I'd rather have it go to ORIs than anything else.
Let's go. Graham, I got the okay. Oh shit, that's a joke. I don't need ORIs, but they looked cool for like a good 30 seconds.
So I liked the idea of ORIs until you guys like had Curtis on, and like just hearing about the problems of them just like leaking down. They're always at like different heights. That pushed me off, man.
Well, he also he hasn't serviced his. If you keep
No,
him,
no,
like,
he has rebuilt his
He
multiple
has.
times.
then his is just fucked. Then he has a
No,
defective.
I trust
ORI.
Curtis. His rig is nice. Like
There, but I guess
if
okay,
he's gonna
fine.
complain about it, I'm gonna agree with his
I'm gonna
complaints.
take the tool and die maker's opinion on machine parts.
Don't tell me this because air shocks are even cheaper. I'll fucking swipe
Yeah, but
those
air
on the
shocks
debit
doesn't
card.
seem to give Luke any issues.
I've got no complaints about air shocks other than if I were going to run the same suspension I had in Ducky, I would run a suck down winch in the rear.
We could definitely test out the idea of leaf springs and air shocks, though.
No, at that point in time, I'm just building you a 4-link.
No, but that's effort. We could meme. We could be meme. Come on, let me be meme. Dude, think of the Club XJ banter that would come from that. And
I
just being
don't
like,
want
It's
to.
XJ Nation. Club XJ
sorry.
isn't a thing anymore.
You kids in your darn Facebook, I got kicked off for calling people pine cones.
Repeatedly.
Repeatedly.
You found the trigger word and you just kept saying it, and you got put in timeout for a long ass time.
I
Yes,
wonder if
sir.
there's
I
an
caught a
Urban
45-day
Dictionary for-
Facebook ban, and I said, you know what? Okay, if I'm gonna get banned for that, I don't care no more. Seriously, pine cones, people, pine cones.
Hmm.
But
Oh, you had
back
a negative
towards-
connotation, negative. I don't know what the word is.
yeah, connotation. would be
Negative
correct.
undertone.
See, even
back
Urban
towards-
Dictionary agrees with you. It just means an absolute idiot, someone who deserves to be called, or like it's somebody who is completely dumb and deserves to be called the pine cone. That's not bad. Oh no, now I'm getting ads for ORI's.
Pine
Fuck.
Oh, yeah.
So
They're listening.
Ryan, what's the next big modification going to be?
Honestly,
Is it gonna
half
be-
doors. I want half doors so bad.
You
That's
know,
not
that's
bad.
one thing I'm not gonna lie about. When it comes to getting the shop or the Jeep out of the shop, it is leaving without doors at least 1 or 2 trips because I want to see what I'm doing. And you
Yeah,
know,
and it wasn't an issue until I got seats and harnesses, and you kind of look out the window, and that's the best you got.
I remember that you were riding with me, and I had the cage in it at that point for the Jeep on CT trip. So we were in the harnesses, and we were doing some dumb stuff, like I was trying idiotic lines on the middle set of ledges, and you were just like, "You can't turn in this," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's the point." They're good and comfy.
Yeah, I think I was actually putting my seats in when I went with you. I think that was the whole reason why I went with you.
The other funny
what you get to
remark that
feel.
you made was, "This fucking thing drives its fucking self."
It seems like a point and shoot rig, and if it's not, it'll be all right.
Sorry. What was the next mod on that before I go trailing off?
Half doors.
The half
Yep.
doors? Fair
Because
enough.
of the harness and
Anything
seat.
major after that, or just gonna kind of run it through the rest of next season?
Yeah, I kind of want to just enjoy it. I just want to use it, you know?
Dude, I totally get that, and I wish that I would have been able to have just flipped my leaves around and done the sheet metal for that.
You
some
could
minor
have.
other stuff.
They're the same width on both ends. I
No,
literally
they are
measured.
not.
They are. I measured them.
That also
We had
doesn't
a
fix
set.
the fact that I am cracking the leaf spring boxes through the floor.
Okay, we'll buy a new set. They're like $150. You can burn them in. Boom. New leaf spring shackles.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of leaf springs is they don't care. You can just do whatever you just bolt them in wherever and they work
But it was an
Here, here.
excuse to
when they're
four-link.
yours, and then they don't flex at all for some reason. I don't know why users didn't flex.
But like 4-link.
Yeah, I mean that's the obvious upgrade, but it didn't need to happen. You wanted an easy swap, and you were just like, they don't fit 4-link.
Yes. They don't fit. I don't want to rebuild both sides of the mounts. 4-link.
I can respect it. I just don't know if I would have gone that route initially.
Yeah, fair enough.
But we've talked about this before. My leaf springs actually work, so
Yeah, yours do. Although I feel like we're slowing down a bit. You guys want to cut it here, or you want to keep going?
Sounds good to me.
I don't know. I'm set. If we have any
Alright.
final final comments?
I would like to add that when Josh's rig is done, it will be carbureted on leaf springs.
No! No!
Is he? What is he? Is he building a? I want to say it's a Ranger. I was
Ranger.
talking to him.
It's a
when
Ranger.
I picked up the Super Duty rims from him.
I have the
I
sound
talked
bite.
with
You
him for
want me to-
probably like 30 minutes, like just sitting there talking about the Samurai and the his current wheeling project. When does he think it's going to be done? He should definitely come out when it's done.
Yeah, he's really hoping before winter.
Okay.
But there is no doubt within my mind, within the next year, we will definitely have a shakedown run.
Sweet.
So
He's kind of got everything, but it's just, he stripped that thing down to a half a section of frame, and now he's just putting it back together.
Wow.
I give
Damn.
him credit for that.
Damn.
And I know what you're about to say, and I want to cut you off to it so bad, but you go right ahead.
No, I give him credit for that, and it makes me really want to cut down more of my rig, but I know that if I do that, I won't get it done in a reasonable period of time.
What do you
It's
think
a
he's
reasonable
gonna say?
period of time.
Shakedown like mid-May, early May. I
Okay.
don't think that I would be able to do it.
Carburetors are dumb.
What's the one?
You're
Jacob-
just feeding the fire, man.
Carburetors are dumb. All
No,
right.
Jacob's
and
the
I am-
same way. When his it's an F-150. Yeah, it's an F-150. When his F-150 comes out, we'll see how those carburetors do.
And
It's,
every time
we're
you
adding more
bitch asses
carburetors to the
stall, I'm gonna just look at you and go, every time. Not even if you slip the clutch and you actually stall. It's when there's literally no fuel being able to be delivered into that little old carburetor of yours. Okay, I'll be sitting there just giving you a nice little glare, and we can have a nice little laugh because I'm making fun of you, Ryan. Okay. But I
Hey,
am sad.
my EFI is up for grabs if I LS swap the J20 if anybody wants it.
Would
it
it
works
work on
mid.
his V6 though?
It would probably be way too big. It's a 4-barrel EFI system, but
All right, so it's
Exactly.
basically it's a standalone kind of system, or what?
standalone.
Okay.
You just
Sniper
has a little
EFI,
computer
yeah.
that does its thing, and has an O2 sensor. You plug in, or you weld into the exhaust.
Yeah,
pass
all I
the
got to do
headers,
is drill and weld a bung
and
in,
does
right?
its thing. Yep.
Yeah.
Dude,
I mean, I'd be interested to at least talk to you about that at some point.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I still need it for my thing right now, but when the
I know.
360
I'm not in a
goes up,
rush.
it's it'll be coming
He's
out.
gonna rock the carburetor, the 16s, and the leaf springs until the frame literally breaks at the leaf spring mount. So, you got some time, Grumbo.
it'd be really ironic if
Fuels my fire.
it would be ironic if he stalls on an obstacle and it rolls back and dents 2 rims and bends a leaf spring all at the same time. So it's just an absolute cluster where it's like we can all just be like, "I told you so, man."
I would just feel bad at that point. That's like catastrophic rebuild right there.
Yeah, but it would be very funny. It would just be poking, it'd be poking the bear to like the fullest extent, and then he'd be mad, but he could only laugh in that situation. He'd have to be like, you know what, you fuckers are right.
All right,
But
so
no,
I've got one final thought. Mr. Police Officer, what is your one piece of advice for not getting pulled over while driving a lifted off-road vehicular device?
Have your lights work.
huh? Hey, that's good
Yeah.
advice. Yeah.
All right, so everyone out there, please remember to keep your carbs primed. Don't go up too steep of an obstacle, and enjoy your evening.